Okay, so I just called the Cedar Rapids Police Department because we just got home and found out there was 2 police officers and 1 animal control officer sitting here because apparently someone anonymously called and said that our dogs were barking and blah 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 and that they were neglected and what have you, when all 3 of them were spaced apart and they had plenty of food and water. And they told me that I could not file charges against harassment because I know the anonymous caller was in fact probably the same person that I have issues with on the street, the known pedophile. So now I've called the police department back and told them to send an officer back because I want to file harassment charges, and we'll find out how this goes. They're showing up right now. We'll see how it goes. I called dispatch.
Yes, sir.
I asked them. I'm recording this now just for my own documentary purposes.
Okay.
As well as I asked them who the anonymous person was. They said it was anonymous. We all know who this was. There's only one of 2 people. My neighbor, who's asleep, who are photographers. They are gone at nighttime. I know they're gone at nighttime. They leave their lights on. Their lights have auto time on and off to show as if they're home at night. So I know they're not home. I want to file harassment charges. Will you allow me to file harassment charges?
No, sir, I will not.
Why?
Because I explained to you before, sir.
Why?
We responded,
To an anonymous phone call.
and upon our arrival, the officer found what appeared to be a legitimate complaint against you. That's not harassment.
Harassment is multiple phone calls against the same individual, correct?
And this was not multiple phone calls, sir.
But I'm saying over the course of time.
This was one phone call, and upon our arrival, we found what appeared to be a legitimate complaint about your dogs being left unattended. That's why we contacted the animal control officer who came out here, and she also found what appeared to be a legitimate complaint against you, sir.
So, my address with my name I've owned this house now for what?
We're talking about this evening.
You're right, this evening. But over the course of
incident, sir.
But this is one incident of many. But this is one incident of many, sir. One incident of many. In the course of 1 year of us owning this house. One incident tonight over the course of us owning this house for the better part of a year, about a year and a couple months. I've had you guys respond to my house for the same individual calling about absolute nonsense.
I don't know what individual we're talking about.
You know what individual we're talking about.
Incident
you just told me what individual that you understand. You probably assume it's the same one because I know my neighbor is not home.
I did not name any individual since I arrived here, sir, on this latest complaint of yours.
Yes or no, truth. You understand the individual, the pedophile.
This incident that we responded to tonight.
Sergeant,
and as I told you, upon the officer's arrival, he found your dogs left unattended, without food or water, or adequate shelter.
Sergeant, when your dispatch takes, Sergeant, when your dispatch takes, being a sergeant, you should understand that when your dispatch takes a phone call, regardless if the individual requests to remain anonymous, they still have to take information, right? If they need to get in contact with regards to the report, if it ends up being
individual provides them that information.
If they do, but if I call in, the police department still retains part of my information, whether it's a phone number, an address, a name.
I don't know if they did, sir.
Of course they do. They always do. It's the police department. I had a top secret SCI clearance when I was in the United States Marine Corps, as you were. you understand that the government keeps record of who calls in and who doesn't. I mean, I can pull phone records of whoever I want that calls me or I make calls out. So regardless, I understand that the police department does have record of who called in, regardless if they choose to say...
They may not. Okay.
Okay.
What's your latest complaint now?
My latest complaint is I want to file harassment charges.
Okay. And as I told you, we will not take a harassment
For what?
complaint
What reason?
from you over this latest incident.
I didn't say over this latest. I'm saying over a course of time.
Harassment, sir.
In the course of 1 year, I have had 7 calls on me. 7 calls. I've had a detective call me in regards to because that guy, the individual on the street that you previously recognized as Brandon Powers.
My focus is the incident that we're involved in.
Correct,
today.
and my focus is not that anymore. That issue is resolved. You guys left. This is your returning back because I requested dispatch for you to come back. Yes or no?
Yes, you did.
I request you to come back for what reason? To file charges.
I don't know.
I called dispatch. They recorded my phone call. I told them what happened. I said, yes, I understand the reason you guys were out here earlier. I requested you guys to come back to file charges. She said, in regards to what? I said, in regards to filing harassment charges. She said, for what reason? I said, because I know the individual who is calling and making these accusations, and this is in a year, less than a year's time, I've had 6 to 8 calls out to my house from Cedar Rapids Police Department.
Okay, can you provide me dates and times?
Cedar Rapids Police Department keep record of that as well as the detective, and I don't have, all their cards are inside from every single police officer that has come out here, as well as witness statements that I've had recorded. I'm not an idiot. You were in the Marine Corps. You know how to do it, as well as... I mean, it's already very well documented every time you guys come out here.
Yeah, they know who's been doing it and who's been harassing us, and we have not done anything to provoke them.
And how did they harass you?
Throw dirt on our door.
They damaged our property, but it wasn't to the extent of over $200 worth of damage. I have them on video with the Cedar Rapids Police Department officer that came here that said I could not file charges stating that they like damaging the property. I can't remember the exact Iowa code definition term is for it, but it wasn't equivalent to the amount of damage sustainable to be able to file charges. Not desecration of property, but in regards, it wasn't enough. Basically, she walked in -5-degree weather from across the street, his wife, and chunked a massive amount of dirt onto our front door and our front window and our front porch and everything. I can show you the video if you'd like in regards to it causing damage to our door, but not enough upwards of, it was less than $200, so it wasn't a chargeable fine or a chargeable offense because it was less than the amount of whatever was chargeable at the time, per the officer, what he told me anyway. So they made her clean it up. I mean, it scared the shit out of my wife.
So that was one incident?
That was one.
No action was taken.
I had another incident when he called the police out here a week and a half ago. No, about a week ago, saying that I was riding my ATV like a race car track over here on the property next to me, that I have written proof and consent from the owner of the property stating that I'm allowed to use my ATV to drag logs and clean up the lot from the barbed wire and all the scrap metal that I actually just went and got rid of so it could be a feasible place for kids to play baseball or my kids to play out there. I mean, I plan to actually, he gave me permission to level it and put grass on it so it's a nice, beautiful piece of property. That's 3 calls right there now. And then prior to that, that's just in the year of 2015. Prior to that, we still had 2, 3 other calls besides that.
It's all on file.
One of them was that I was riding motorcycles up and down the street. I run a side business from what I used to be an automotive repair shop manager, and I would fix motorcycles and things like that, and I would sell them.
Okay, and officers came out?
And officers came out because they said it was a noise disturbance, but it was more or less me using the street with my truck or a trailer and loading and unloading quads or dirt bikes. And he bitched and complained about that.
And then one time it was about his truck.
And
The street.
Yeah, another one.
Bro.
Yeah, another one was because that's what spiked his wife to come out here and throw dirt on our yard, was because my truck. I mean, I have aggressive tread tires on my truck, but it's a 4-wheel drive truck. I mean, I don't know if you saw the extent of the prior to winter flooding. Right here at the corner of the street, I got videos of it. I had water up halfway at my yard.
Okay.
Mud, sludge. This drain right here is still plugged. If you look at it, there's probably 6 inches down. That is covering up is solid mud.
Okay.
My truck sits there on the street because it doesn't fit in the garage. Hers does, but hers stays in the driveway because we have stuff in the garage. I drive down the street. Of course, there's going to be mud on it because I'm parked at the end. The entire street worth of dirt and mud gets slung down here, and he bitches, complains about that, and they sling mud at my front door.
Yeah, like we haven't
So
met
that-
him ever. Like we've only met our neighbors right here. Like we have not even talked to him to provoke any kind of reason for him to start harassing us out of nowhere. Like this has happened out of nowhere. And I know we have, we're scared because, we have a 3-year-old and 2-year-old, and it's like, yeah, I know with his past, whatever, but then harassing us out of nowhere just to get us out. And then previously he's moved 2 families in this neighborhood already because of him harassing them. So we're just kind of like, this is ridiculous. This keeps on happening over and over, and then now he's trying to be anonymous, but we know it's him because everything, like, what
We know the rest
happened
of our
that day?
neighbors. I know the rest of my neighbors.
Here's the thing. It was not Mr. Powers that called. It was someone else.
Oh, so now it's not anonymous. So now you lied to me. You said it was anonymous. Now you actually know
Yes,
who it
I
was.
did lie to you.
So you lied to me.
Yes, I did.
I understand someone has the right to remain anonymous, but at the same time, you knew who it was.
Yes, I did.
You could have easily cleared it up, and this would have been gone long, and you would not have showed back up saying.
Because frequently, when people are told who it is, they respond just as you did. Like
Angry,
they're insane.
angry that the same
Like
person
they're angry
has
and
called.
insane, and they want to strike
You're
out.
saying I'm insane.
Like they want to strike out against that individual.
You're saying I'm insane. I'm going to strike out. You're making accusations, Sergeant. You're
I'm
making
telling you-
accusations that
telling
I'm
you
going to
just
strike
the way
out and I'm
you're
being
acting
insane.
now.
I am sitting
Because
here.
we responded to a legitimate complaint that you acknowledged was legitimate.
Officer, am I sitting here calm and collected? Officer,
Talk to him. He's talking to you.
you're right, Sergeant.
Do you not want to talk to me any longer?
No,
'Cause
I-
I'll be happy to leave.
No, I'm talking to you, but I'm asking
Happy
for a
to turn
secondary
around
witness.
And walk away.
Am I sitting here
Then be quiet
calmly? Now you're. Yes, sir.
and listen to me.
What was your ranking in the Marine Corps, if you don't mind me asking?
That's irrelevant.
I'm just asking
You
because
want to listen to me?
I'm asking you.
Otherwise, I'm going to be gone very quickly.
So now you're refusing.
Goodbye.
So now you were disrespectful. You accused me, and you're walking away.
Lawsuit coming away.
Don't worry. I'll call the lieutenant in the morning. I have his cell phone number. Thank you, Sergeant, and thank you, officer.
Okay, the other officer knows that he's in the wrong. That's fine.
Here, let me zoom in. And
Don't even go.
there we go.
Wow, another lawsuit.
You can either come back and resolve this and talk like a human being, Sergeant, or you can keep driving away. That would be your Cedar Rapids Police Department refusing to do anything and driving away.
What's this?